Oh, I am live. Hi guys. Okay, so this is, oh my god, I'm already kicking the screen. I've got a big mess behind me. Let's move over and not see so much mess. We'll pretend that I'm all polished here. How's everybody doing? Ooh, a card curmudgeon in the house. Woohoo! So, okay. So I have a thing that I think I can share. If I do it right, well, no, I can't. I'm not going to remove. What am I doing, hon?
What'd you do?
I remove from stream. So what do I do?
What'd you do?
I don't know. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi Erica. I know Dustin was in. So, aha. And then I click on that.
Yeah.
No,
and you can make it full screen here. We're just showing Peggy how to use all the buttons.
Okay, guys. Lisa is, this is going to be a shit show. What am I clicking on? How am I making a photo happen? I got to go over here.
You might want to unhide Jen's comment.
Oh, I want to unhide Jen's comment. I got to go find it now.
This is fun.
Oh my god, guys! I mean, this is something that this is the part
click that
I did.
No, click the one to the right. Unless you want your face showing.
No, I'm pretty. I want to show my face.
And then click your other tab up at the top and just select which
click.
photo.
Oh my god! Now I got to do it from this. Is this the right one? That's the wrong one. So how do I get back?
You're gonna have to go back.
Oh my god, guys! There it is.
There we go.
Okay.
And then go back to you.
And we're back to me. Who has seen this before? So today's topic, what the hell? It didn't switch back. There it goes. Okay. So we are going to talk about the Roswell incident. So Erica says doing great. I'm like, oh my god, Erica, no. No, don't tell me this is good enough or it's never going to get any better.
Really good, babe.
Okay. So how's everybody today? A couple people mentioned, I noticed some people started chatting early. Oh, I'm on the wrong chat. I'm on the wrong everything. My god, guys, this is going to be interesting. Okay, there we go. That's the one I want. There it is. So apparently yay, Peggy time. So Lisa is here. She's going to be on her computer chatting and doing whatever, or if this turns into a big enough shit show, she'll be over here helping with the buttons. So July, I even wrote some notes. Did you think I'm smart enough to find them? July 1947, and a rancher comes into town, reports to the sheriff that there's something odd in one of his fields. The sheep won't go near it. And the military and the police say, contact the military. The military send out a couple of guys to see what's going on. Next thing you know, somebody in the military says that there is a UFO that crashed. 24 hours later, it suddenly turns into a weather balloon and everything goes fucking crazy. So one of the things that I dug up, everybody's been talking about doing research, and don't forget, this is not about, we're gonna have fun with the topic. Don't forget, continue the conversation in the comments afterwards if there's links or stuff that you guys want to share to continue the conversation. So keep that in mind. Erica says it'll get better as I go. This is like my second ever video. So yeah, Lisa's going to run the dogs out. This could be interesting. Maybe we'll just talk bad things about her behind her back while she's out of the house. And then she'll be back. So this was the RAAF is Army Air Force. This was before the Army and the Air Force separated into completely different divisions. Now, Roswell was a military base that was just outside of Roswell, New Mexico. And yeah, the military. Okay, well, this story gets really interesting because the article that I found, which I've managed to close. No, I haven't. There it is. Okay, so I looked up an article. If you look up the Wikipedia article, all you're going to see is all about how this was a weather balloon. And here's all the ways people were mistaken about it. It's almost like the military wrote this thing. The interesting thing, the couple of the really interesting things that caught my attention about Roswell was that, number one, the people that made the press release that announced that a flying disc had been captured were the military. And then the next day, the person who I found an article that kind of gives all the names and stuff, so I'm going to be referring to that in a bit. But the very next day, that person's boss comes back and says, no, it was just a weather balloon. But the whole butt of the situation is that when the military went out to check out this report of a weather balloon, they had no idea that there was a weather balloon in the area. Which the interesting thing is that you would think with the military base being right there and sending up weather balloons, they'd know if one was in the area. The two people that they sent out for the initial investigation were and I'm going to have to start looking things up in a minute, were the chief intelligence officer and basically two officers came out. Like, two officers don't come out because some rancher says a weather balloon crashed in his field. So it gets really fucking weird really, really quick. 20 years later, the military is still making up excuses when silence is the better choice, honestly. So babbling in that big circle, the most interesting thing for me where Roswell is concerned is that way too many people got way too involved way too quickly for it to be just a weather balloon. If it's a weather balloon, you go, you clean it up, you go home. But the reports of bodies that they're saying never happened, and then they said they did, and then they said they were test dummies, and then they said that they were something else, and then they said they were small. Then it's fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy what happened at Roswell. Who the hell knows where the truth is? So let me just find this thing. There it is. Okay. So the guy that reported it was a man named Mac Brazel, and yeah, William Mac Brazel. He worked for a ranch. They see something in the sky. They see an explosion in the sky or something, and this is what everybody says, it was an explosion in the sky. Only the military says that it was something that crashed on the ground. He wasn't particularly interested in it until he came on the area a few days. They're not even sure how long. So he came across the area later and says, okay, there's debris everywhere. It really, really stinks. My sheep won't go near it. Somebody's got to clean this up. That's what started the whole thing. So this really was a non-incident until things happened that turned it into an incident. And that's where things got fucking weird. I mean, I don't know what everybody else. What are you guys' opinions on this? Do you guys think it was a weather? Okay. Do you guys think it was a weather balloon carrying out top secret military experiments, which is the one story that the Air Force came up with 20 years later? Do you think it was a UFO? Do you think it was some other? Do you think that it was something so problematic that they were willing to let the controversies continue going forever and ever? Yeah. The rancher took a piece of the craft bearing strange hieroglyphs on it and showed it to his son. Also some scrunched up metal that resumed its original shape like liquid metal. The interesting thing is, one of the photos, and I'll see if I can switch photos now. Lisa's not home. I'm going to click a button by myself and see what happens. So we'll see. Oh, guys, I'm so slow at this. I'm sorry. Which one am I at? I'm at that one. Is this where I want to be? This was one of the original photos, and that doesn't look like a weather balloon. Where is it? There we go. So this was one of the original photos. The interesting thing is that after the crash happened, okay, the military 20 years after the fact, or was it 30, said that this was part of a project called Operation Mogul to detect radiation in the air, to detect Russian nuclear experiments. So what they said was with the disc. Yeah, it's okay. It's not a weather balloon. That is not a photo of a weather balloon. It's really that simple. So, ooh, I'm not even in the photo. There I am. This is not a weather balloon. This is one of the photos that are supposedly from Roswell. Now, don't forget. Okay, here's one of the problems that we're working with. We're looking at it from 70 years in the future, and the number of people that have produced. Okay, the alien autopsy video that was supposed to be from Roswell. The guy admits 5 years later it was a hoax. We've got a. So this is supposed to be one of the original photos from Roswell. Oh, Lisa's here. This is supposed to be one of the original photos from Roswell. 70 years down the road, who knows? I do remember seeing something similar way back when I was, you're a teenager and you're going through all the weirdo magazines, because that's what we called them back then. So this does ring a bell as one of the original photos. And again, what we were supposed to be sharing the photos from is not what we were hoping for. So yeah, so the Army then says it's weather gear, which was crap. Yep, I'm going to go away again. So yeah, Jesse was ordered. This is the, oh, do I have the photo? I think I have the photo. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry about the lack of order, guys. It was actually supposed to, that is those are the infamous weather balloon photos. Where am I going? Hey, it says it's on the right. Sorry, guys. There we go. Probably, but we'll figure it out. There. Okay. I'm just stopping and starting, guys. I'm still, don't forget, second video ever. So, I mean, I suppose everybody's first or second video ever makes it sounds like you're going, constantly. Okay. So this is what they're showing that is supposedly some of the debris that was brought in, and it looks very metallic, very shiny, very all the things. Well, you know what's really interesting? Whoop, not that one. What's really, really interesting, and here's a little tidbit that hopefully I'll get into in a bit more detail if I can find the space. Some of the stuff that I had set up that I didn't realize that that StreamYard wasn't going to let me show it properly. So now I'm like going, okay, good. Erica also says constantly. Okay, so this is like, oh, that's just a weather balloon. That's just a weather balloon. But the unfortunate problem is that that's not what weather balloons looked like back then. And fun fact, the farmer, where is he? Where's the article? Okay. So don't forget, this is 5 years after World War II. Mac Brazel had previously found weather balloons on the ranch that he worked. He knew what a weather balloon looked like. And when he reported this, he reported this is not anything I've ever seen before. And yet he had spotted weather balloons on at least 2 other occasions that are recorded. So that's when it gets really, really crazy. Now, Major Jesse Marcel and Captain Sheridan Cavett, they followed Brazel back to the ranch the same day that it was reported to them. And of course, don't forget, we've got a few days that have passed. Now, I'm sitting there looking at it going, okay, so the military launches a weather balloon. Let's get back to me. Let's take a break. Back to me. Yay. So the military launches a weather balloon. Weather balloon goes up. Weather balloon crashes, and nobody goes looking for it. Nobody knows it's there. Nobody's going looking for it. One of the things, oh, I gotta do this again. One of the things that the military talked about, 20 some odd years later, there's this mention of a Project Mogul. One of the things that they said is that they would send up military balloons testing for radiation in the air. The balloons would eventually crash. They would go recover them. These balloons had a radar array on them so that they could be tracked, and that's how they found the balloons after the fact. This balloon goes down. Nobody goes looking for it. This doesn't make any sense. They send out, Major Jesse Marcel and Captain Sheridan Cavett, they're intelligence officers. Why are they sending out intelligence officers to take a look at something as mundane as a crashed balloon? This makes no sense. So they go out, they follow them up to the ranch, they spend the night. Don't forget 1947, that's not unusual. Next day, inspecting and collecting. Next day they spent in collecting and inspecting debris. They took it to the base, and that's the morning of July 8th. Okay, so July 8th, they're taking debris back. Why are they taking debris back if they already know it's a weather balloon? Because they don't know what it is. There's nothing to take back. There's nothing to take back if they knew it was a weather balloon up front, and they clearly didn't. Meanwhile, everybody, these two are in the military on Roswell, clearly would have known what a weather balloon looked like. Everybody in the, yeah. Anyway. Oh, hi, Jamie. By the way, guys, I'm really sorry. I got so excited about this and distracted that I forgot to say hello to anybody. So hi, all you guys. And this is amazing that you guys have decided to show up and take a look around. And where the photos are fishy, where the photos get fishy is because there were photos at the time that were confiscated. It's like, if it's just a weather balloon, who really cares? if it's just recording atmospheric data, who really cares? As long as they're not showing the sensitive whatevers, who really cares? This made no sense. Their reaction to this weather balloon made no sense. It was out of all proportion to what was going on. If it is a crash, now the military they would put up weather balloons with measuring instruments to do all sorts of tests and military whatever. But the reality is that is the only thing that they would have cared about would be the recording data, the recording devices. They wouldn't be picking up every freaking piece of the balloon itself. They wouldn't care about that. And yet they cleared the entire area of all debris. So that's something that's been shown over and over again in interviews. Okay, so let me see where I've got on this. This is I think, well, let me put it. This is from an article that I'm reading off of this article that I found. Is it letting me post it? Oh, it let me post it, guys. Woo! Oh, and by the way, now Lisa's back. If anybody has a particular question or whatever, or don't forget, this is all conspiracy theory. So like 99.9%, beyond a few photos and a few articles, 99.9% of everything else is just individual opinions. So if you have any questions or whatever that you want, that you would like my opinion on or my thoughts on, absolutely. I'm not doing a very good job of tracking the chat at the moment because I'm just not used to that. I'm not used.
Hello.
Yeah, Lisa's over there yelling. I'm not used to reading from this, keeping an eye on this. I'm not used to this yet, and it's just a learning curve. I'll be fine. It's okay. It's okay. I have coffee that'll help. You guys. A lot of you guys will see me on coffee. This will get really fun in a minute. Anyway, okay. So the part of the article that I'm at right now, and if anybody wants to read along or just read it while they're listening, that's fine too. Yeah. Okay. So the military, they followed Brazel back to the ranch. In short order, Colonel William Blanchard, the commanding officer at Roswell, he is the commanding officer at Roswell, where apparently this balloon came from, issued a press release saying that a flying disc had been recovered. This guy is the commanding officer of the base that supposedly released this as part of a tracking project. Doesn't know what the hell this is, and makes a release to that effect. So after he makes the claim, almost immediately, his boss, Brigadier General Roger Ramey, held a press conference in Fort Worth, Texas, in which a battered balloon-borne radar reflector was said to have been the disc found by Brazel. Now, here's the interesting thing. We're talking 1947, and this is not, how is a brigadier general in Texas getting a hold of a radar dish in New Mexico? That this makes no sense. They're coming up with things. It's like, dude, they literally must have flown it. And I get it, it's an Air Force base, but why this much effort? Why this much effort instead of just saying, hey, we've issued your correction. This was a piece of military equipment that turns out to have just been so badly damaged that it was very, very confusing to the people who found it. End of story. But we're going to hold a press conference and have a piece of equipment to display. Makes no sense. They tried. This is a methinks they doth protest too much. Absolutely. So, Lisa's even agreeing with me. She's over there nodding. Mm-hmm. Anyway, okay. So basically, you've got two intelligence officers and the base commander all saying the same thing, because obviously the intelligence officers go back and say, we don't know what this is. The base commander says, we don't know what this is. And then a brigadier general says, oh, we know what it is. It's nothing. Don't worry. But here's a press conference to prove it. It's like, the military was not in the habit of holding a press conference to prove anything to anybody back then, because World War II went immediately into the Cold War. This makes no sense. Okay, let's keep going. Any thoughts, any opinions? Yeah, sloppy cover-up. It really was sloppy. It was a panic. They panicked because they did find something, and they were panicking because they didn't want anybody to look into it. That's my opinion. That's not gonna change. Okay. So, where am I at with things? Okay. Is I clicked the button. Oh my God. And I'm always yelling at Lisa for clicking the buttons, and I clicked the button. Shut up. Oh yeah, now she's over there laughing at me. Okay. So the only time that this has ever happened, the only time that times that this kind of sloppy cover-up work has happened is when there's something to cover up that they are so bloody worried about. My God, my glasses are like glaring on everything. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to get some special non-reflective. So basically, this is like the whole whatever. Okay, so then we're moving on. Yeah. Okay. So now Brazel, the original guy who finds this stuff. Yeah, the original article concluded that noting that Brazel had previously found weather balloons on the ranch on at least 2 occasions, and he firmly stated, "I am sure what I found was not any weather observation balloon." Now, just don't forget, the materials available to them at that time are limited. It doesn't matter what the balloon's holding. It doesn't matter what this. Is she telling me to move my thing?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Oh, are you getting dog food ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruno has to have a needle, so we'll just take that part off camera because he's a diabetic boy. Okay, so I said a thing, and now I'm going to blame Lisa. My God, I'll blame my wife. Okay, so this guy's found weather balloons before, and the materials that are available at the time aren't really changing all that much. So he may not have recognized the equipment, but he certainly would have been able to recognize the balloon structure, and he said it wasn't a weather balloon. And this guy in later articles, because don't forget, the media kind of has been in the area for years and years and years and years and years. This guy is like one of those true cowboy types, man of few words, and if he doesn't believe it, he doesn't say it. So, yeah. So basically, the guy, because of all the pressure, because of all the attention this got, Brazel decided he was never going to report anything again. Now, the interesting thing is, now this particular article mentions it, and I remember it being mentioned in other stuff back. Some of the stuff that I read back in the day was like still 30 years ago, and I haven't been able to find any online version of some of this stuff. But so another fun fact, Mac Brazel spent a week in military custody at Roswell. And when he came back, he refused to talk about the incident at all and would only repeat it was a weather balloon and would not talk about it. Now, this is on record that he was taken there. So there's that. What am I doing here? Oh my gosh, I moved around and now I'm all awkward and I'm moving around. Okay. So now this goes into this does devolve into refuting some of the original stories and stuff that are there. But that's really where Roswell ended in a nutshell. So another thing that happened is that the debris was moved to Roswell. And okay, this particular article, let me just go back and forth. This particular article does go on for a while, talking about various interviews with various people. And there are dozens and dozens of people interviewed who say that they saw the debris, who say that because at some point, people had been out to the ranch to see this. And I think it was, the Army boys are going up to take a look at something. So people got curious and drove up and took a look too. I don't know how many people they said they were there though. Okay. So there's also a record that somebody said he had a conversation with Brazel about this, and Brazel commented about the stench of the dead bodies laying around.
No way.
Oh, you didn't? I didn't tell you that part. I didn't tell Lisa much about this. So if you didn't click on the link to that article and you want to look at it, so basically people have tried to interview Brazel, who will not talk. His family, though, have talked and said that the military took him in custody for a week. They don't know what did or didn't happen because he wouldn't talk about it, but that they've heard that he's occasionally let things slip over the years. Something did happen. Mac was particularly incensed at having to endure a head-to-foot physical examination by the military before they would release him and allow him to return home. But there were tons of people who saw things, who saw the trucks coming and going, who saw some of the debris left behind, who saw some of the debris that was brought into the sheriff's office. And yeah, so that's basically Roswell in a nutshell. There's evidence that the debris was taken to Roswell and then shortly after was moved out of Roswell, and it's only a theory that maybe it was moved to Area 51. There's not really a lot of confirmation on that. And where are we at? That's everything else is the hearsay that goes back and forth. Yeah. Oh, here's the other piece that I wanted. Okay. This is somebody.
Toadstool has a question also.
Okay. What's Toadstool's question?
Do you have info about the nurse who saw the alien bodies and the child-sized coffins requisitioned by the county funeral director? I didn't
find anything about the child-sized coffins. I had heard about it, but I didn't find anything that's in writing online right now. There was a nurse, and her name is in this article that I found, or at least like her first name or whatever. Yeah, she walked into, I'm assuming it was at the local hospital, but she walked into a room where, yeah, my dad was in the military, in the Air Force from 62 to 91, and he was not allowed to discuss Roswell. And that's, yeah, it's like for a weather balloon doing Cold War experiments. Why would that matter? By 62, who would care? Who would really care? As far as I understand it, Dustin, Area 51 did exist under a different name. And the conspiracy theory on that one is that Area 51 was developed, Area 51 became Area 51 as part of the Roswell conspiracy. So there's that. But again, this is again, unless you were there, unless you were part of the actual conspiracy, we're never going to know. So this is,
Did you see Jamie Kelly's comment about her?
I clicked buttons. I'm gonna read this right now. I clicked a button and brought something up. I'm gonna read this now before I lose it. In May 1998, Frank Joyce, and I'll have to look up his name again and see. I forget. I literally, guys, between sewing and all the thing.
You've still got Dustin's comment up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just so you know.
Joyce. Who's Joyce again? I'm finding it. Oh my God. Okay, so Joyce was a friend of Brazel's, and I believe he was one of the reporters. He tells in 1998 he told that when Wilcox put Brazel on the phone, I could tell right away that he was a very distraught man on the other end of the line. He started complaining about a lot of stuff scattered all over his ranch, and that the sheep wouldn't go around it to get to their usual watering place. The following is a reconstruction of the original telephone conversation between Brazel and Joyce, based on Joyce's comments to us in his interview. So basically, Brazel's angry, going, "Who the hell is going to clean this stuff up? That's what I want to know. I need someone out here to clean it up." Joyce was the sheriff. Says, "What stuff? What are you talking about?" And Brazel says, don't know what it is. Maybe it's from one of them flying saucer things. Joyce says, "Oh, really? Then you should call the Army Air Base. They are responsible for everything that flies in the air. They should be able to help you or tell you what it is." So then at this point, Brazel is like, oh God, what am I going to do? It's horrible, just horrible. And Joyce asks him, what's horrible? And Brazel says, the stench. It's just awful. Joyce says, the stench from what? And Brazel says, they're dead. Who's dead? Little people. So this is... Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the things. I'm being horrible. Yeah, Area 51 did exist at the time. It was called something else, but now it's Area 51. Okay. So I am totally behind on chat, dear boy, and that's just
dear boy.
He said, dear girl, you are behind on chat. I told you guys I was behind on chat. Oh my God. I'm so on my learning curve right now. It's crazy, but it's fun. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope this is interesting. I know it's the weirdo stuff, and I'm still, there's a couple things I had that I was going to show, and now I can't because it didn't happen that way. There is, let me see if I can do this one.
You should be able to share any of your photos.
Here's what an observation balloon actually looks like. This is what they would have looked like back then. So where is it? There it is. This is what an observation balloon would have looked like back then. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all at that point.
Can you make the picture bigger?
Yes, I can.
Control ++ maybe in the image.
So the guy who originally found the debris, who started the whole shitstorm, he's found these before. Now, you're not the materials are not going to fundamentally change in 1949. So yeah, so there's that. And this, where's the other one? There was a piece that I found. Is that it there? That is apparently supposed to be.
When you're in it, you can control ++ to make the picture bigger.
Ooh!
Remember?
No, I didn't know. Oh, look at that, guys.
That's better.
There we go. Oh my God, guys.
That's what I was hoping for with the weather balloon one.
Oh, I had no idea. Oh my God, this is so. Time to start the list.
Oh, it's unrelated. 3 fat readers chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically there is. So now we can get to some of the theories, because the theories, like these are what little bit of facts are known, interspersed with some of my opinions on those facts. So now let's get into the theories. So Area 51 becomes a major focal point for investigating the UFO phenomenon. That's theory number one, and one of the biggest pieces of evidence that they have at Area 51 is the Roswell debris, bodies, and the whole works.
Did you see Toadstool Tarot's comments?
I'm looking for it.
Just scroll.
At some point, reportedly, the bodies ended up at Hangar 18 in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, located in Dayton, Ohio, where I was born at a few years after the event. And there is something else in that. They're flying this stuff. They're taking this stuff everywhere. They're breaking. So as I understand the conspiracy, and again, I don't want to go conspiracy theory and make it sound like it's just because who the hell knows, right? But it's my understanding, based on what the kind of stuff that I was reading and looking at the time. I'm not that old. I'm like 1964, guys. In the 60s, the conspiracy the whole thing came back to the surface again, and I believe it was in like 1974 that the military finally said, "Oh no, those were then they finally disclosed what they called Project Mogul. I think they called it Project Mogul, looking for evidence of Soviet nuclear testing." Had this big, huge song and dance. So that's what Roswell was, because we were putting up balloons everywhere. It's like, but you knew where your balloons were. Why didn't you know where this one was? When the balloon crashed, why were you surprised that it was even there at all? So there's that. But apparently they took the debris and they sent it out everywhere. Anybody that they could get to look at this stuff, because they didn't know what it was. They were trying to figure out what it was. Yeah, Dustin was a baby.
What's Project M? 1974
Mogul.
Project
I think it was Project Mogul. I'd have to look up the name again. I thought I saw that it was Project Mogul. And then all this shit happens. And then 20 years after that, because the drama didn't die down, they said, "Oh, by the way," I'm gonna go see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this. Give me a second. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta.
We can be patient. It's fine.
Be patient. Oh my God.
We'll entertain ourselves.
Don't get too entertaining, or horrible things are going to happen. There we go. No, it's not in this article. Okay, so it's not in the article I'm referencing, but that's fine. I don't think I need the article anymore anyway. I'm just going to relax and start shooting the shit now. Now that I've done the show and tell portion. Now that the show and tell portion of our chat is done, let me actually pay attention to what you lovely people are saying. So then 20 years later, okay, so don't forget, the entire time that this Roswell conspiracy theory shit is happening, these are little aliens 3 to 4 feet tall that people are talking about. Okay? Military in the 1990s turns around and says, "Oh, there were crash test dummies aboard because while we were doing that, we wanted to see how they would survive, blah, blah, blah." It's like, why are you testing 3 foot tall dummies when a 3 foot tall person would never be allowed in the military? This makes no sense. What are you testing? So because the controversy didn't die down, they came up with a different excuse that was even more asinine, because every single report that mentioned bodies talked about them being small And the military is going, yeah, that's right. They were dummies. We were testing stuff. And it's like, what were you testing? You were looking for radar you were looking for radiation signatures, and now you're testing dummies. Which one was it? Which lie are you trying to get people to believe? So it got crazy. But anyway, so the conspiracies around Area 51 is that the people were threatened. Yeah, Project Mogul, Operation Mogul, a top secret project by the U.S. Army Air Force involving microphones flown on high altitude balloons. Its primary purpose was long distance detection of sound waves and supposedly long distance detection. I'm going to put this up. And supposedly of detection of evidence of nuclear testing in Russia is what they tried to say it was. So, no, Erica says they really didn't know how to cover up their shit. And no, they didn't. They did it badly every time. Nobody knows why. Why are they doing such a bad job of covering it up when the military is really great at going, we're not telling you guys shit. It's a top secret. It's top secret. Go fuck yourself. There's evidence that so this guy had found weather balloons before, on record, talking to multiple people saying, this is not a weather balloon. This is not a weather balloon. This is something else. There's a saucer. There's something. Suddenly changes his tune a week later after he's been in military custody for a week. That's, other people also reporting, this is the other people reporting being visited by, Kim J, did I get banned from chat?
No, she's there. I can see her.
You're still here?
Did we miss a comment?
Kim, I'm so all over the place just chatting, and I was going back and forth with photos and stuff. I've probably missed a lot. So if I missed something that you said, just go ahead and repeat it. You're not banned. Nobody's ignoring you. So anyway, there's all sorts of theories about what was going on. All sorts of theories based on the fact that the Army didn't fucking know what they did. They didn't know what it was, where it was, or why it was even in the area. And it's like, that's not very good military governance right there. So there's evidence that various people involved were completely discredited. One nurse that reported seeing some bodies. I have no idea why. Oh, is it? No, you're over there. I have no idea why it was.
As mods, we should see anything that's found that's like hidden.
Yeah, if anything got hidden, somebody would see it. So I have no idea why it got missed, Kim. I'm using, I don't know.
No, it's not StreamYard. It would be, if anything, it's YouTube. But
maybe the Roswellians are just watching us and making sure things don't get said. I don't know. But anyway, okay. So yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think. I know that I'm kind of where I keep stopping every time was just with how badly the cover-up was handled, as if they were panicking, versus just saying, well, we've got some top secret issues at play here, so we're not going to say anything more about it, because 1949 is only 4 years after World War II. Nobody would have questioned it if the military had walked in and said, look, guys, we've just ended a great war, and we have military secrets that we need to protect, so we're just not going to discuss this any further. And everybody as a community would have went, okay. And that would have been the end of it. They could have just quoted military secrets and made it go away in a heartbeat, and they did it badly because they were panicking. Intelligence officers, they're sending intelligence officers out to check out a weather balloon. That makes no sense. Oh, if there was a link, I don't know. Anyway, so Area 51 comes into play, and I do believe that this triggered something huge. But Area 51 being connected with this incident makes things get weirder and weirder. The military falling all over themselves with really, really bad cover-up is weird. And a lot of people that there was a reporter who tried to send out a follow-up story on it, like the next day, and he was like told, don't do it. He actually was literally left Roswell a year later, and basically refused to talk about Roswell ever again. And hinted near the end of his life, that it was because the military had told him he needed to stop. What are you doing?
Trying to remind you to look at the camera, not me.
I'm looking at my wife. I'm going, hey, Lisa, I'm just going to talk to you now. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of, like Erica says, it's like, it's embarrassing. Like they wanted people to know it was a load. I don't know. I think everybody was just so overwhelmed with whatever was going on was so significant that everybody was so overwhelmed that they didn't know how to handle it, and they literally were panicking. But no, it's interesting. There's still UFO reports around Roswell with far more often than they are other places. Maybe people are just hyper aware. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys? I mean, I know a few people said they were looking this up all weekend. I looked up a whole bunch of stuff. I really was wishing I could have links to share. I mean, photos to share. Oh, there's one more photo though. There's one more photo. One more. Bring this back. Nope, that's not it. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna click the things because I can't do it any other way right now. Okay, so there's the original article. That's the balloon. Come on. Yeah, so the Army discounts it as weather gear. Are you kidding me? I don't have it. There we go. Okay, this is the weird one. This is the weird one. Now, it's claiming to be real. And again, we're 70 years at the other end. And this is from Guy Hoddle in Washington. This is March 22nd, 1950. Flying saucers, information concerning some stuff is the following information is furnished to an investigator for the U.S. Air Force stated that 3 so-called flying saucers had been recovered in New Mexico. Now, this is another fun fact. There are 2 other incidents that were reported that were covered up, that were like small blurbs, and then they were just written off as weather balloons, and nobody talked about it since. Approximately 50 feet in diameter. Each one was occupied by 3 bodies of human shape, but only 3 feet tall, dressed in metallic cloth of a very fine texture. Each body was bandaged in a manner similar to the blackout suits used by speed flyers and the pilots. According to Mr. So-and-so, the saucers were found in New Mexico due to the fact that the government has a very high-powered radar set up in that area, and it is believed that the radar interferes with the controlling mechanisms of the saucers. And this is a very weird thing that's been floating around for a while now. Did it not go up?
Oh, no.
Oh my God, there it is, guys. Sorry. There's a few pieces of documentation like this that have been floating around literally for decades, and nobody can really be sure if those pieces of information are fabricated or real, like the quality is low. Every now and again, and this is part of the reason why the Roswell controversy just doesn't die, because every now and again somebody gets their hands on this, because there's reports, this is another conspiracy theory, that there are people inside Area 51 who are smuggling this shit out. This is what the whole area, this is where the this is where you read about alien autopsies and stuff like that. This is why when the alien autopsy video came out, people were so quick to believe it, because there's been stuff that's been supposedly getting smuggled out of Area 51 for years about aliens, but it's stuff like this that it's hard to take seriously. So Jen, the middle-aged baby witch, is asking, have you read the Millennial Hospitality books? They're by a retired military guy who goes into intense detail about all the things he saw where he was based, UFOs and aliens. I have read several books that contain, there are so many military guys out there that now that they're getting older, are oh, I took myself out of the stream.
I've done that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So there is so much that people are starting to say. One of the Roswell guys, they were looking for deathbed confession type stuff. So this guy finally says near the end of his life, he's going, oh yeah, this shit happened. Here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. And then they completely discredit him, saying, well, he's old, so he was probably senile when he said it, so we can't take it seriously. Every single person who's ever tried to speak up on Roswell has been literally labeled a crackpot, laughed out of the room, And so most of these guys don't want to talk about it. The few who do are being discredited, and the people with the real story have been silenced by the military. At least they say they have. So it's kind of interesting. Anyway, so come on. I want to hear opinions.
Look at Kim and Jen's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
About whether they were trying to distract from. There's a theory apparently they were trying to distract from other.
I was actually thinking about that. I was looking something up and it mentioned that it's like keeping us distracted with this might keep us from noticing other stuff that's even more problematic that's going on, because there are theories on just about everything, and there are theories that the military is in the middle of most of it. So it's like,
well, one of the things they were suggesting.
She's actually sat there with her hand up.
I did. But she was saying that I think it was Jen said that there's a theory that the government.
Can you guys hear Lisa? Okay.
There was a theory that the government did this in order to distract other military, like to our enemies, from military developments that were ongoing. So basically distract them with this while they work on other military tech that maybe they don't want them looking at.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think it makes sense. I think if you're in the military, the best way to protect your secrets is to keep people chasing after the secrets that you don't really give a shit about. And it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Like, I mean, my personal belief is that Area 51 no longer exists. My personal belief is that whatever was going on at Area 51 has been quietly moved someplace else, and they're just letting people waste their time thinking that it's still at Area. It's it's still there. Yeah, I can be slow on email because I get busy with stuff. Like, think about it. Okay, so Area 51 has been a conspiracy theorist wet dream for the last 30 years. Why would they still be doing top secret research there when now people are using Google Images? No, I'm doing this. Google, people. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's just I'm. This is the kind of shit. It's like, hey, honey, guess what? And then I'm like looking at her. I gotta learn not to do that, guys. I gotta learn not to do that. It's yeah.
Look at the poop. Look at the poop.
I need poop.
Okay, I'll get you a poop.
I'll look at the poop. It's fine. Oh wait, Dustin's here. It's fine. Gotcha. I was.
You just called Dustin poop?
I tried to, but I don't think he gives a shit. Oh wait, that's a pun.
That's a bad pun.
There, I have my poop. I can look at my poop. I'll put it right there. Okay.
Put it here.
I'll put it here.
Look at the camera.
Basically, you know what? If I do this when she's doing a live, if I do this when she's on camera, I'm like, oh my God, you're an asshole. Oh, Dustin, I'm just teasing you. I would never say if I ever say something to you that sounds mean for real, let me know and I'll apologize. But oh my God. But no, it's just I don't think Area 51 exists. I think it's just something that they put up. It's like, yeah, now I'm gonna look down here. I think they just let people waste their time and energy focusing on what's coming and going from Area 51 while they've quietly moved the real stuff somewhere out of sight, out of mind, and nobody's looking there anymore. But hey, don't thumbs down. Don't cry now. Yeah, Jamie says, why don't you come over to the couch so you're looking straight ahead? So there. Yeah, let's make it Lisa's fault. That'll be fun. But yeah, no, I think I do. I mean, I actually do believe that there was a saucer, that there were bodies in it. I do believe that this. Now, do I believe that this was a crash landed UFO or whether it was a UFO they were doing experiments on? I don't know. I don't know. You know, maybe they already had it. Maybe they already had the pieces and the parts. Maybe they were. I mean, I don't know why there would be bodies, but. No, something pretty fucked up happened. Something pretty significant happened there. Yeah. Oh, you pulled. See, this is why she's over there. So when I'm yipping and yapping and don't notice things, yeah, I think there was definitely a UFO involved in it. I mean, maybe okay. One thing that I'm thinking, because one of the things that people constantly overly focus on is the shimmery material and whatever. I mean, what about the possibility that a UFO crashed into a weather balloon? Because that would really resolve almost every argument that people have. If you look at the Wikipedia article, the Wikipedia article looks like it was written by the military. And here's why it was a weather balloon and people are stupid. Like, one of the reports talked about sticks, and it's like, you don't build a weather balloon with sticks. So yeah, what am I saying? What am I missing?
I think you're seeing it all. Whatever alien race that is, they're probably pissed at, as Erica said.
Oh, they're probably really super pissed. I mean, that's the other interesting thing. Like, I mean, just because they have the technology to get here doesn't mean they have the technology to make the trip often. Ooh. So, I mean, you know, maybe they're just finally finding out that something happened to their pilots just now. We don't know. Yeah, so I think Kim's comment, Kim, you can see the plane with the red stripe on them from the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Vegas. They are the ones that fly to Area 51. Yeah. Because, I mean, Area 51, I actually looked it up on a map, and this is the interesting thing. They took the debris. Why they would take weather balloon debris to Area 51 is beyond me. They took it somewhere. It did not stay at the Roswell base. They took debris, they took a punctured, torn apart weather balloon to be examined. Why? There's no reason for that. But Area 51, that base is like 12 hours away. Why would they do that? And it's my understanding that they took it out by truck, which is why there was some recollection that people said that it was removed because a large whatever was taken out at night on a flatbed truck. And it's like, it makes, basically, if you read the Wikipedia article, like I said, they keep talking about, the shimmery material, it doesn't make a lot of sense, because why would they use highly reflected material for a top secret military weather balloon that they don't want anybody to notice? Let's just put the shiniest shit we have on this weather balloon. That way nobody will notice it. There's no logic to that. So, I mean, and it could be that whatever it was like, maybe they had to, like, maybe UFOs at that time. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it in a way that makes sense. When we were first developing rockets, a rocket coming in for a landing would deploy parachutes, and those had to be heat reflective. The Soviets, especially, they were pioneering landing. The Americans, they were putting their rockets into the water, and the Russians were pioneering ground-based landings. They would just land in the middle of a field. So we don't know. I mean, okay, we all believe it. I can't say we all believe in UFOs, but we all believe that if the UFO theory proves to be correct, that it was UFOs, it was little green men, but we don't know what technology, our technology. Look at 1947 to now, 70 years in the grand scheme of human evolution is a snap of the fingers, and we've gone from propeller-driven airplanes to space shuttles. So maybe that's what it was. Okay, hubby is here quoting all the tinfoil hat info. He says back then the most likely base for top secret be in Cleveland. Isn't that where the Manhattan Project was supposed to have happened? Which was also like, I think Cleveland would have been, because they were doing a lot of naval. They had an Army, Navy, and Air Force type base, and they were doing a lot of naval research. Yeah, they may still be on their way to kick our asses. They might be looking for some revenge. Who knows? But it's like, we don't know what kind of experiments were happening at the time. We don't know what the military was doing at the time. We don't know who they were talking to at the time, but we do know there was reports of bodies, and that those bodies were 3 feet tall, and it doesn't make sense. It makes absolutely no sense. If it's entirely possible that a big component of what's going on at Area 51 is just a decoy for the public, and that they do the research elsewhere, it would make sense. Yeah. The bodies is the biggest thing, because so many people have reported seeing them. The bodies they're reporting seeing bodies at Area 51. They're reporting seeing bodies at Roswell. They're reporting seeing bodies on the ground at the crash site. Oh, the bodies. That's the comment that keeps getting deleted, or the one about Cleveland. Hi, Time Nexus. Hey, I finally greeted one person.
Oh, good job.
My God, I'm horrible, guys. Okay, so I don't know where that leaves us. I really don't. I mean, yeah, other primates. Not yet. Whatever was in there was not. I mean, maybe they were just. Oh, I greeted Erica too. I think I greeted Lisa, but only because she gave me coffee. I will get better at manners, guys. It just takes time. But yeah, like, I mean, anybody else have anything to add? Because I mean, I didn't go super crazy because I wanted to give plenty of space for everybody else's opinions. Because I really do want to know I know there's a lot of sameness to our opinions, but I also know that there's, you know, where do the details take us? Yeah, more witnesses to the smell than to the physical sight, I think. That is true. Because people were talking about, when the trucks came by. Oh, hi, Molly. And yeah, now I'm going to say hi to people. It's bad. But yeah, so where do you guys land? Where do you guys land on where like, one of the things that we're looking at right now is so much of the evidence. We've just got this entire thing about entire groups of people just fabricating shit they're trying so hard to be right that they're making shit up. And it's actually making things more difficult to get to the actual truth of it. But some of the stuff that I read back in the 70s, before all the photo manipulation, before the internet made it easy for anybody with a computer to because if you try to look up Roswell now, you got to wade through so much shit to get to some of the original content. Yeah, Lisa says the bodies is the big unexplainable bit to me. Like, if it wasn't extraterrestrial life, what was it? And it was something. And here's the thing is that we're 4 years after World War II. This is going to sound really, really crappy and nasty, but 4 years after World War II, the number of people that know what a dead body looks like is going to be an astronomical. It's going to be much, much. Like, if somebody dies in a crash, we might not know what we're looking at. If you know what I mean. But in World War, yeah, Lisa's nodding. After World, and you know, half of these guys had served in action. Like, you know, in the draft was a thing. Everybody served in the military back then if they could. So you've got there wasn't a burnt body there. It's like, that's if you were in the military, say you were in the Canadian military now, that's largely a peacekeeping force and doesn't see a lot of action, that might be true. In 1949, it probably wasn't true. There was probably somebody that went, oh, I saw something like that over in over in Iwo Jima or over in France or Germany. Like, it's not. And yeah, it's just you know, and knowing what, you know, like, you're talking a farming community, people know what a dead animal looks like. They know there must be a dead animal and a dead human. So, and that was before we were sending test chimps up in rockets, right? Yeah. So it couldn't have been burnt chimps. It makes no sense for it to be. Well, you know what? Here's the interesting thing. Let's assume, and this is a little game I play with myself. Let's assume that they were testing rockets, that they were putting chimps on the rockets, sending the rockets up, and one of them crashed. Okay. But 70 years later, our technology is so far in advance of what they would have been able to do at the time that it makes no sense to keep lying about it. We're sending up space shuttles. We are sending up reusable space shuttles to a space station, and they're still covering this up and lying about it. That makes no sense, because this is where things kind of fall apart for me. And in small ways and big ways, what doesn't make sense is why they're still keeping it a secret and why they still have not declassified the information, because they have declassified so much information about the atom bomb that there was a kid back in the 70s who built one, and all he would have needed was the nuclear fuel to make an atomic bomb. Because they declassified. It's like, dude, this is old news, and everybody has the bomb now. So here's the information. Look at the poop. So we're putting up space shuttles. We can send one up, do our shit, bring it back. Yeah, it's been so long. Why still cover it up? Because our technology has so far. So assuming, yeah, there's a huge difference between the smell of decaying human flesh and animal flesh. People who know the difference can tell it right away, and they can also tell if it doesn't smell like either, which is where the thing is. But no, it's like, oh, Bob's story is intriguing because he was an engineer hired to reverse engineer the tech they found that we don't even have now. And this is what I believe. Whatever the heck was going on at the time, I'm going to go look up Bob Lazar.
I've got a documentary queued up.
Oh, perfect. I guess what we're watching tonight. So it's like, okay, so whatever the hell was going on there was so far in advance of what we can even do today that they are not willing to disclose it. And that is where, and like I said, that's where it falls apart. They have declassified so much over the years as the technology becomes obsolete. So like, this is obsolete technology. We don't need it anymore. You can go out in your back. You can go out in your backyard, build a weather balloon, put in a rate. You can do all this shit yourself now. It's all been declassified, but they still won't declassify Roswell. And yet, if it was just a weather balloon looking for radio signals, we should know all about it. We should have all the details, and we don't. So Jen says, yeah, that's what Jen the middle-aged baby witch says. That's probably why they're still covering it up. The tech is still way more advanced, and they don't want other countries to know what we have access to. Exactly. So they're still keeping a 70-year-old secret because it's that big. But yeah, I want to learn about Bob Lazar now. There are so many people that have, but there's the number of people that have said that they have seen the bodies, that they have seen the saucer, that they have seen. It's like Independence Day. Do you remember that movie Independence Day? And the aliens are coming, and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they have to deal with the thing because the aliens are coming, and then you just find out this casual thing. Oh yeah, there's been a whole group of us working on Area 51 on the, here's the original one. Like, I think that it's entirely possible. Yeah, Will Smith again. I think it's entirely possible that we're going to find out that there's been a whole lot of shit going on that they're just not willing to talk about. I mean, let's face it. If a UFO lands tomorrow and we can get our hands on it, we're not telling anybody. So. Somebody said, oh, do you know about an underwater Area 51? I have heard. Oh, was that from somebody else, hon, or is that just something that you're asking?
Somebody mentioned it. Kathleen Hager mentioned that there is an underwater Area 51.
I have heard about underwater research bases of various types, and I have heard that they are all top secret and that they are all doing experiments related to they're actually using underwater bases to do experiments related to deep space for some reason that nobody knows anything about. But it's that I haven't heard anything that makes any sense. Oh my God, now I gotta find the thing. Where is it? I have to. There we go. Yeah, Independence Day would be an interesting one. Yeah, do you remember the War of the Worlds? What year was that put out?
Oh, War of the Worlds?
War of the Worlds.
I'm gonna look it up.
You guys remember the War of the Worlds? There is stuff out there that if they were to disclose it, would just cause the kind of global panic that would make disclosing it so not worthwhile. So there's that. But I don't know.
Serialized is 1897?
The original book, yeah.
Oh.
Or was it a book?
H.G. Wells, 1897.
Was that when it was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because with the movie was based on the original thing. Basically, the War of the Worlds was a radio show. They aired it, and people actually thought it was real. People were literally running, screaming into the streets because they disguised it as they announced it right off the front that it was a radio show and that it wasn't real. But anybody who tuned in after that, like 5 minutes in, was oh my God, the aliens are here, and it's like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, Lisa just said 1898.
That's when the book was written.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was on.
I always get them mixed up because I always think of the movie, and it's like, wait a second, the movie is based on a radio show. But no, I don't know. I mean, I love to hear other people's opinions. And my God, share your links, guys, because I mean, let's just turn this into a little mini, click on the video and then look at the mini library of links and facts and whatever afterwards. Yeah, if you listen, it feels real. Radio shows were like that. They were like soap operas on the radio. But no, I definitely think that whatever they found whatever happened at Area 51 was so profound. And like what else comes from the sky that's profound except for UFOs and aliens, that they are just my opinion is that the movie scared me. The whole alien thing is super scary to me, so I understand people totally freaking out. And I think let's face it, if anybody on a government level would just say, oh yeah, we've got a flying saucer and we're studying it, there would be like mass panic. It would be crazy. We're just not equipped as a species to even acknowledge, like, we're just now reaching this intellectual place where we can start talking about, of course there's life on other planets, and you still can't get a reputable scientist to say that it could be more intelligent than us. It might be equal, it might be similar or less intelligent, but anyone or anything being more intelligent than us, we can't even admit to the possibility. Yeah, radio. Cosmic disclosure on the internet channel Gaia. I keep hearing about the Gaia channel, and I've heard of it, but I also don't really want to pay for a single channel, so I don't know where I stand on that yet. Yeah, Black Ops projects between the military and the aliens with mutual cooperation. It'll blow your mind. I have seen so much of that stuff. And that's something else too, is like if the military and aliens were working together on seeing, maybe they were testing the limits of our technology to develop a spaceship. I don't think, this is going to sound weird, but I don't think Roswell was a garden variety UFO crash. I think there was something else at play, and that is part of why, like maybe they were experimenting with technology and actually shot it down. Maybe there was a cooperative project and we were trying to build one of our own. But there was definitely something a little bit more than, because if it was a garden variety UFO crash, it's like, no, you just saw something funny, leave it alone. But they wouldn't still be defending it. Yeah, we can't even get everyone to agree on climate change here on Earth, so it's not going to happen for a long time with anything otherworldly. Exactly. I mean,
the aliens are getting the shit out of the deal here.
But I don't know. I mean, so everybody's pretty much at the so where are we? And do we have a consensus on, is it a UFO crash, and this is all that there was to it? A joint alien UFO, a joint military / alien project of some kind that got out of hand. We shot one down versus it just crashed. So where are we? So like, I mean, I think we can agree that there was probably something very, very not of this planet involved, but where does it fall in the details? Because the detail to me that always fascinates me is why the military is still coming out with idiot stories 70 years later. Why are they still trying so hard to hide it? Because if it was just a weather balloon, then there's no reason. Like all the other military secrets from the 40s and 50s, we know about in detail, because the technology is so outdated that it doesn't matter anymore. And there's like, yeah, we did this. Yeah, we did that. Jamie Kelly says a cooperative that went bad and we shot one down in air and it turned into a shit show. Now that's possible. Yeah, see, and again, a garden variety, a UFO crashed, it's got to be more than that. Because when a garden variety UFO gets seen, they have no problem going, yeah, it's a weather balloon. Fuck you all. We're not talking about it anymore. And they just walk away. Ooh, I heard that theory. And that there was something about being able to tell that they were young or something, like, because again, going back to, they've got the bodies, they've done the autopsies. I've also read, has anybody heard the theory that there were survivors of that crash that were put into custody to be interrogated and experimented on? Because there are people coming out of Area 51 claiming to have met them. Okay, who's saying what? Oh, I'm just going to sit here quietly. I'm going to sit here quietly and tap my foot till people talk.
Kim J heard survivors.
Yeah, that was that's kind of like, let's just hit you guys with that one at the last minute. There has been talk for decades about survivors of Roswell, of survivors of the crash, and again, 2 other crashes in the area. And they don't know whether they're connected or not. Yeah, Roswell is where the premise of ET came from. Yeah. I keep looking at Lisa. It's like, hey, say something. It's like she doesn't say anything. She just kind of goes, ooh, this is cool.
I'm talking in the chat.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Beyonce Survivor music.
Yeah, I got my Starbucks. I need to find something better to drink. Yeah, I feel so bad for aliens. We humans fuck everything up, and I hope other life forms stay away from us. Well, that's kind of a, you know what? That's kind of an interesting thing. We have this mentality that if there are aliens and if they stop by to say hello, it's going to be to help us and give us all this technology. And it's like, I wouldn't give us shit because we'll just find a way to kill each other with it. At this stage, how much am I remembering from reports and how much from the X-Files? The X-Files, I said this actually a couple weeks ago, X-Files got a huge percentage of their original storylines, especially for the first 2 or 3 seasons, for the first 2 at least, from conspiracy websites and well, not websites, but from conspiracy theories. A lot of their stuff, so that's why so many of their episodes mimic so closely the conspiracy theories that were popular at the time. Ooh, who's got birthday cake? Yeah, I love you know what? I love sorry, I got okay, where is it? Oh, this is weird. I don't like this. In order to turn it back off again, you gotta hope the chat didn't move forward.
Or just pick a new comment. That works too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was another one. There were two UFOs that crashed, not one. The other was a few miles away. And there's not a lot of information about that. So that's another one. That's another one that gets really interesting, because New Mexico has, like, in considering that it's not a very, very heavily populated state, it has a really, really inordinately high number of UFO sightings. And obviously it would make sense if you were a UFO coming down to check things out that you're not going to land in the middle of New York City. So it makes sense, but it's really, really interesting how per capita they get so much more. Yeah. See, I kind of think that's a lot of what's going on. Well, you know, Time Nexus is saying, well, that's one of the ideas about why aliens visit us, kind of how we humans study and try to understand lower beings here, and aliens are doing that to us. There's actually a lot, whoops, what did I do? There's a lot of sense to that. There's a lot of sense to the idea that if they wanted to conquer us, they could have done it like hundreds of years ago before we've developed the technology to just wipe out everything. Like, we might not be able to defend ourselves from an alien invasion, but we can certainly make our planet useless to them because because of our amazing ability to destroy our planet. So yeah, I mean, I think, look at this. I'm just like, it's like I'm having a little mini earthquake all by myself.
Yeah, you gotta stop wiggling.
Yeah, Erica lived in New Mexico. There are very isolated areas, but oh, and that's something else. Energy vortexes.
It's like a whole topic, probably. Huh?
That's I'm not sure. No, one of the things that Lisa and I were talking about is some of these topics can be covered in like a very, very short video. So I might decide that I'm going to do like quick little 5 or 6 minute videos on some of the more very, very
What if we want to discuss all the topics though?
Oh, we can do I'll do a live.
Don't take our live chats away.
Oh my God, Lisa's already crying. Don't take away the live chats. Aliens are landing on your that's exactly what it is. They're landing on my laptop.
Or you could you put your mouse on the couch.
Yeah, I think they're here already, underground and under the oceans. You know what I call it? Duck blinds. I call it duck blinds. It's like have you ever seen those researchers go into a wilderness area and they set up what's essentially a duck blind so that they can observe without disturbing the wildlife? I think that's exactly what's happening. I don't think if they've got the technology to come here, then they've got the technology. Like, there's planets where it rains diamonds. They could just go scooping in with a net and if they have the technology to make it here, they have the technology to get any resources from anywhere that they want. You know, stop off at a planet that's just got microbial life so there's nothing to ruin, and then just start, mine the crap out of a planet that's like mine the crap out of Mars. It's already a dead planet, right? So I think that Ramtha is, if you want to learn about Ramtha, Ramtha is a channeler who is associated with a religious organization, and I would have to look up the name of the organization that believes that quantum physics is actually the answer to all of our religious questions about spirit, regeneration, reincarnation, everything. If you watch this show, What the Bleep, you'll know who Ramtha is. I think I'm getting a little bit mixed up with other things, but yeah. Okay, so this is energy vortexes. My mom is the most down-to-earth non-believer you can imagine. She was in Sedona, and even she said she felt a different energy there. If my mom felt it, it's definitely real. Energy vortexes energy vortexes has a connection to ley lines, and there are theories that alien technology can be powered by proximity to ley lines. But we don't, most of our understanding, except for maybe the military, but most of our understanding of ley lines is very, very non-specific, because there's people that talk about dowsing and things like that, being able to detect ley lines, but it's a very more of a spiritual belief than a scientific practice right now. Yeah, aliens from outer space versus interdimensional beings. That's another one. It's like, it's you know what? Yeah, Lisa said it feels so strange that this stuff isn't talked about more openly. It feels like such a massive cover up. The funny thing is that when you talk about this stuff openly, the first thing somebody is going to call you is a lunatic. Hey, where's your tinfoil hat? Unfortunately, there is the tinfoil hat. You know what, though? There's the tinfoil hat brigade in almost any. There's religious people, and then there's religious tinfoil hat people. There's, like, oh, Sasquatch is thought to be interdimensional. See, I have some thoughts and feelings on Sasquatch as a general topic, and then on specific areas where those types of creatures are found. I have all sorts of conspiracy theories on that. So yeah, it's so overwhelming. Can our primitive minds handle it? But yeah, energy vortexes. That's a total segue away from. Oh, actually, it's not. So there are areas in New Mexico. Something that's really common in New Mexico is called medicine wheels. They make them in the desert, and there are theories connecting those to ley lines, which connects to energy vortexes. Oh my God, I'm talking too much.
You can mute it if you need to really, really cough.
I was like, so now we've created this. So now we're taking this one thing, and it's like, because why would
Coughing right in the microphone.
How do I mute it? I gotta hack my guts out. Some of the theories about UFOs is that we're just like a gas station to them. They stop, they pick up energy from our okay, if you ever go to somewhere where there's a lot of power lines in the area, you notice the buzz on the ground. There's a dog park that's run under a power line, and when it rains, you can literally get an electric shock touching anything metal. So there's theories that a spaceship will skim in, go near a power source, and just absorb the energy that it needs. And then, so it's like a touch and go refueling operation. There's also things about saying that they can collect that energy from ley lines. And there's a thing that says that that's something that the military, these are all conspiracies that link together, that the military is investigating that sort of stuff. So again, now you've got reasons why everybody, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy making, because nobody knows where the truth lies. That's the biggest problem. Nobody knows where the truth sits in all this shit. So Roswell basically boils down to something crash landed. Now the military says that it exploded in the air, but the military says that it crashed and broke up on impact, but there were dozens of witnesses, because this was like a big fireball and it happened at night, that saw it at night exploding in air, and then it was a few days later that this farmer found it. So even that right there, that's one that the military can't make go away. But nah, it's just like really, yeah. I can't even finish sentences on this, because there are so many theories, some of which interconnect and make you sound crazy, some of which are simply super basic. spaceship came down to take a look around for whatever reason. Maybe they were hoping to land, do some repairs and leave again, and crashed instead. As a matter of fact, there's an incident that happened in Russia that's kind of what people are starting to think happened. So yeah. So yes, one theory about their crafts is that gravity can be used and can actually be stored energy, which we can't store long term in our text. Sorry, not first I cough, now I'm belching. Sorry, I gotta shift my leg or it's gonna start kicking. Anyway, this is energy. This is where energy vortexes come in, though, because there are some major theories about alien technology being able to siphon energy directly from these energy vortexes, and there's also theories. There's also conspiracy ideas that this is something that the military has been investigating for years as a way to power military vehicles without the need for a supply line. There's a documentary on Prime where Bob Lazar goes. Let me just put this up. There's a documentary on Prime where Bob Lazar goes into the science and physics of all of this. I'll find the link. It was fascinating, dry because physics, but fascinating. Yes, please link it. If you guys have found, because some of you guys have said that you spent the last few days actually looking this stuff up, keep the conversation going. Link all this stuff. This will be absolutely fun. One of the things that we had talked about, just to segue, one of the things that we had talked about was like literally pulling names out of a hat for the next week's topic, and we just managed to have a comedy of errors and didn't actually make anything to put in a hat.
You could list off a couple and let people vote on them, though.
So what do you guys want to see as next week's topic? Yes. Link stuff after, because let's keep the conversation going. Ooh, we got first one is for Sasquatch. Sasquatch. Hello, Christina. I don't know if we're gonna. Well, I don't know. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to keep chatting for? Oh, Betty and Barney Hill. Oh my God, yeah, those guys were. Oh, they went through something. Vortexes and ley lines. Okay, so that's the top three. Okay, so let's
2 votes for Sasquatch.
Okay, we got okay.
Third vote for Barney Hill or Sasquatch. Do you know Barney Hill? I've got it.
Betty and Barney Hill. Oh yeah. No wiggle.
You keep wiggling your.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I gotta get.
Mouse on the couch.
I gotta stop, and I'm sorry, sorry for the seizures. Okay. So we've got 2 votes for Sasquatch, 2 votes for Betty and Barney Hill, and we've also got vortexes and ley lines. One vote for that.
Vote for Sasquatch.
Another vote for Sasquatch.
I think Sasquatch is 4 for Bigfoot. Yeah.
Oh, we got 4 for Bigfoot. 5. Okay,
yeah.
so next week we will do now. Okay. So this is where because I know lots and lots of conspiracy theories. I don't have the details on a lot of them because you just can't keep that shit in your head and not go crazy. Ooh, we got Loch Ness. Oh, I want to do Loch Ness so bad. Right now, I think Sasquatch is winning. Sasquatch is winning. Okay, so now, do we want to do Sasquatch as a general topic? Because there are ape men all over the world. Do we want to? Okay, so do we want to do a general topic on the global phenomenon, or do we want to narrow it down to certain types, or do we care? Do we care? And I'll just surprise you guys with something related to Bigfoot and Sasquatch. Erica, do Sasquatch. Erica, I'm scared. You don't get a vote.
Fine.
She's over there across the room making a vote happen.
You could do Nessie and Sasquatch like mythical creatures. I think you should do one topic.
Mythical creatures. Well,
rather than grouping them together.
Yeah, I think we're going to separate into 2 because Bigfoot. There's Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skunk ape. There's the Yeti. There's the ape man of Borneo. There are literally like humanoid, not ape, not human, in between species reported almost everywhere. So we could actually spend like an hour and a half just on the one. And Bigfoot, Loch Ness, is also something that goes beyond just Loch Ness, because there are very similar creatures. Okay, based on my beliefs, Loch Ness is, yeah, as long as they're not here. Yeah, I think we'll do, so we'll do Bigfoot. We're actually gonna write, we do have a list, we just need to write it out, we just need to get it cut up and make it in a thing, right?
We'll put them in the hat.
The hat's in the wash. I washed the hat.
You washed the hat?
Yeah, I washed the hat. I washed the witch's hat. Oh, Sasquatch is Sasquatch is here too. Like, not in this particular area of BC, but they're reported all over BC, all up in the mountains. Mimi says, "Holy shit, I know none of these words. I'll be here just to hear the Peggy talk." It's kind of interesting, Mimi, because almost everything, there's a conspiracy theory about almost everything. Almost everything. It's crazy. Some of the stuff, and there's also like some of the stuff that we believe is true isn't true in the way that we think it's true. So that change, and when you know what the underlying truth is, it changes the whole picture. As like blow your mind. Yeah, Roswell incident is definitely, Skagit Valley. Skagit. I've been calling it Skagit for so long. We go through Skagit. Oh, Skagit. We go right past the casino, or every time we go down to the States. Yeah, if you go walking in the woods one day, you're in for a big surprise. So yeah, and you know what? There are also so many other UFO type conspiracy theories and stories. Like, we're definitely going to be, this is not the first and last and only time we're going to be talking about UFOs, because there's so many. Like, there's a conspiracy theory. Well, there's a UFO based on the moon theory, UFO based on Mars theory. So yeah, we'll be talking about, is there life on Mars? We'll talk about that one day. And
moon landing too.
The moon landing. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff about the moon landing. Everybody's got a camping story, eh? It's like, man, the weird noises that you hear in the woods, and people will go, what is that? And they're going, I don't know, but we hear it all the time, and then they just ignore it, and it's like, because they're used to it. Like, yeah, it's crazy stuff. Yeah, hollow moon, artificial structure. There's a theory on that. People are giving up on that theory, because there's now a theory about a moon circling a moon circling Saturn that looks like a UFO, or is it one of the bigger moons of Saturn actually has a miniature moons circling it that is UFO shaped. So that's all crazy. But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, where do we land? So basically, Roswell was a great big giant cover up. They're still covering it up to this day, because whatever the hell it was massively huge. And I believe it happened. I don't believe it was a weather balloon, because there's too much evidence that the people involved would have bloody well known better, and nobody would have made the mistake of putting out a press release like that over a simple weather balloon, because this is a military base. They see those things all the time. So why would they had no reason to if it was a weather balloon, they would have had no reason to think it was anything else. Who's saying what? Oh, a YouTube channel, Pac West Bigfoot. Yeah, there's. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll introduce you guys to the wonderful world of proto humans. And yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Okay, so that's next week's topic. Absolutely next week's topic. But it's been an hour and a half, guys. I should probably start saying goodbye.
The long goodbye.
The long goodbye. Yeah, and then and then next week we can hear Jen the middle-aged baby with tell a story about oh my God, going camping the week after watching the Blair Witch Project. Oh yeah, everything is out to get you after you see something like that. Who mentioned camping and having a story with their brother on their birthday? So there's that. But yeah, I think a lot of us in North America that have family in or near large forested areas have probably, a friend of an uncle of a cousin. Yeah. So next week is going to be a Sasquatch. For anybody who doesn't, so basically, if you don't know what a Sasquatch is, it's an ape. It's a not human but not chimp. So the missing link, and North American ape men, and Himalayan ape men and ape men. Okay, I gotta stop saying ape men because I'm sounding funny now. I keep looking at Lisa, and I keep shaking the screen. My God, I don't know why you guys are here. Here, let's just go. Let's go back to that one. There, let's go back to that one. Then I can shake the screen all I want. What am I doing? Okay, so thanks for hanging out. Thanks for letting me get through my learning curve here, guys. I sit with Lisa on these all the time, but this is only my second ever video using this stuff on my own. So, Tacoma, yay! If you guys have any suggestions, any thoughts, any ideas, that's fine. If there was something I was doing that you really, really liked and you want to give me some feedback, that's great. If there's something I was doing that was like, hey, just so you know, because I don't know. This is my second video. So if there's something going on, like I know that I need to keep my bloody hands off the table and stop shaking the damn camera. But maybe I'm talking too loud. Maybe I'm not talking loud enough. If there's anything that you think that might help me do a bit better quality next week, whatever. You know what I mean? I always say it ass backwards, but anyway. Congratulations. Yeah, well, I just like to mouth off at a camera. I mean, it's really easy if you like mouthing off, honestly. Anyway, this has been fun, guys, and thanks for showing up. Thanks for thanks for listening, and thanks for sharing and taking the time to hang out with us. This has been a lot of fun. Next week's topic is Sasquatch. So if you have any thoughts or ideas on that you think might be interesting and worth sharing, let me know. Keep this conversation going. Roswell has a shit. There's 70 years of conspiracy theories around Roswell. I could literally, honestly, you could literally find a different piece of the Roswell conspiracy and talk on that for hours. So if you want to keep the conversation going, keep it going, guys. No problem. Anyway, Lisa's telling me I need to start waving now.
I was telling you to actually say goodbye.
Okay, what button do I press to end the broadcast?
Top right.
Top right. End broadcast. Okay, guys. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you. I told you. Yep. Night all. You guys have a great night. Bye. Oh, yes, Bruno.